when you go on, when you go on a Trapman and stuff, and the difference between hitting a green and hitting a greenside trap is that like some people can't get out of
a millimetre.
I mean, it's
mad.
2 degrees.
At what age did you realise you were going to make it? Like, was there ever a time? Because you mentioned earlier, just off the podcast, you've been playing what you'd see as almost elite golf since you were 8-year-old.
Yeah.
When did it kick in and go? I'm doing this. This is going the way I want it to go.
Probably about 26.
Really? No, it didn't.
I think you. No, I would say I was very confident at about 18, 19. Like when I finished school, I gave myself 2 years of full-time golf, and I really practiced hard.
Yeah.
I've always sort of had a really good work ethic that, to be honest, comes naturally. I like working. I like practicing, and I like doing those things. So I had 2 years of that, and then I played. You look back and it's more like you look back and look at what you did rather than at the time realize what you're actually doing.
Of course.
I mean, I was playing for England. I got in the Walker Cup team, so I was 18 at the time. That was at Merion, and I wasn't really ready to turn pro, and didn't. I kind of thought about it at that time because when you get to that point, a load of the people that you're playing with turn pro.
It's the natural progression, isn't it? From
natural
Walker
progression,
Cup.
and I remember I used to ask people about it because still 18's really, really young.
Of course.
I would always say if I ever met a tour pro or anything, I would say when should I turn pro? When's the right time? And they would say, you'll know. I'm like, what good's that? Like, it's not told me anything. And then
but I suppose you asking that question probably told you it wasn't the right time.
I'm not right. And then when I was 19 and I'd played, so after the Walker Cup, I think I travelled to Argentina that winter. I travelled to Australia for 2 months that in January. Like I was doing a load of travelling with England. I was obviously one of the guys left that had played Walker Cup, so I was, in a way, I was one of the older ones. I was, playing really well. I had an amazing season where I didn't win a lot, but I finished second so many times. I won, and then won a couple of events, won the English Amateur and stuff. And I sort of knew by June-ish that year, I was like, I'm going to turn pro. I'm kind of done. And then it did make sense because I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I was kind of, and I got to World #1 Amateur. I won the English Amateur. We won the home internationals again with England. I think we won the Europeans that year. And I'd done everything that
you'd accomplished everything you needed.
I'd done everything I wanted to do as an amateur, really, and that was kind of it. And then I was very, very confident at that stage. Like I turned pro, should have won on Challenge Tour as an amateur, and should have won on Challenge Tour as I just turned pro, and played Challenge Tour the next year, and flew through it, but I won the biggest event, which was lucky in a way that I chose that time to play well, and then qualified to get on tour at that time. So I was confident then, and I thought I'll probably push on, and I probably thought I'd do better than what I did.
Winning the English Amateur, does that get you into majors?
No,
it's the British Amateur that gets you in the majors.
Yeah, finished second on that one when I was 17 and got nothing.
Would it have changed, however, because you turned pro anyway? Would you have still been able to?
No, well,
they've changed the rule, haven't they?
I don't know, but that is always a tricky one because you get into these majors, and then you end up waiting, and there's definitely, I've probably seen, you see both sides of it. I think people turn pro too early, and then I think people wait too long as well, and then I think it definitely sort of stutters people's progress, just not quite getting it right.
Yeah, I think it has changed now.
I think it's changed. I always think it's mad when you go on Wikipedia and look at the British Amateur or English Amateur. Some of the names obviously go on to be proper elite golfers, and there's some that you just never hear of. And it always baffles me how somebody can be such an elite amateur, but yet go into the pro game is obviously a different ball game.
Just a completely different game, yeah. Especially sort of, I would say the European or British side, we play so many links courses. I mean, we play the best courses, we really do, but it's a completely different game when you turn pro. I think like the EGU and sort of the governing bodies, I think they do, and I think they are doing a really, really good job. And I think it's definitely, I was sort of at the time when I was around, it was probably transitioning into where you were getting guys ready to turn pro, where I think it was always, before my time, it was, you had guys that did stay amateur like all their lives.
Yeah.
And I think definitely now it is, what players, what sort of lives they want to lead. And I think everybody kind of is working to get them ready now, which is better. But it is just such a different game. Like, I found the jump from Challenge Tour to the European Tour such a big gap, and struggled. Like, I really struggled my first year. It's just as the levels go up, the standard of play gets higher, the golf courses get tougher, and
you're playing for more prize money as well.
Yeah, and some people just ease into it, and some people find it harder.
So the question, I know probably the answer's both, but is it that it's so much harder to win, or, which I guess it obviously is, than like the Challenge Tour, but is it also that the cut becomes so much harder because the actual field are better?
Yeah, cuts are the cuts in some events like really like just are amazing. I think it's somebody like there's the both sides of it. Like, you get so you get a sort of scoreable course where you have to shoot 25 under. Like, to win, which is an obscene number, and then on top of that, the cut is, going to be low. But then you get a tough course, cut's still like level par, under par, and like those two things are just the standard of golf is so insanely high, probably doesn't get the credit sometimes, because it's easy to, you probably. Well, you don't always get better, but like if you sort of struggle, the standard doesn't drop with you. Like, the standard keeps getting higher, and it's just a a strong sport.
I think it's one of the hardest things to almost get across to the general golfer, and probably people listening to this podcast, how bloody good tour players are, how bloody good you are as a golfer. Like, hopefully a video that we're going to shoot today will highlight that and really
I'm not sure.
That's one of the other questions, actually.
Put it into perspective, because it is, I think it's difficult. Unlike other sports, like, I can't tell what it's like to come up against the one of the best footballers in the world in that setting, in that crowd, because I don't get that opportunity. But weirdly in golf, you do, and it's the beauty of golf, I can go and play Royal Birkdale.
Yeah.
And almost pretend I'm playing in the Open. And, you know what I mean?
You're playing against me, we're like,
But it's not the Open. The rough's not anywhere near as hard. It's not nowhere near as hard a situation. The tees aren't as far back as the guy when you play it.
Yeah, I think people don't. I think the setup of golf courses that we get, and especially when you get towards a Sunday, I think is something people probably one of the only things in golf that people don't experience in a way. That's like I would say. Like a bridge that people don't quite get to experience as much is like a Sunday setup of a golf course where it's firm and fast, the pins are tucked away, like it might be windy. But, at the same time, I think we probably don't think about enough is how hard golf is.
So hard.
Like, and we'll play Pro-Ams, and I watch guys, like, hitting the ball, like, you can go on a range and hit the ball and everything's great, and then you get out there and there's bunkers, there's water,
of course,
and I'm like,
there's you watching them.
Well, and I watch it, I think, how hard's golf?
It is.
It's such a hard game to go on a golf course and score.
If you think about what golf is, you're propelling a tiny little golf ball.
Hurts my head.
With a metal
It's
mad.
And you're swinging that.
Yeah, you've got to miss all these obstacles
around your body at speed.
And that much difference in the face can make like miles difference in accuracy.
You're talking degrees.
Well, when you go on a TrackMan and stuff, and the difference between hitting a green and hitting it in a greenside trap is that some people can't get out of.
A millimetre.
I mean, it's 2 degrees.